Hey guys, thanks for joining us again. This is Scott from Landscaping to the Point with my host JC right over there. He's right over that way. I don't know where he's at, but he is been busy for the last couple of weeks. We know that he wasn't on last week. If you were listening to Client or Contractor with me and Josh, it has been a busy time. Now Josh is somewhere right now. We couldn't get him on today. He's busy, but JC, how you been? Where you been, brother? What's going on?
I've been absolutely awesome. It's cool to be on the show live from Japan. Right now it is what,
9:30
10:30.
my time, so it's probably what, 11,
It's
10:30.
it's almost it's 10:30 p.m.
Okay,
here.
nice.
10:35 p.m. So we're a couple hours away from being Monday morning.
Wow. That's just amazing how the time difference is between you and me right now, because it's like people don't realize that, and it's like it's just amazing. So what? Okay, tell me. I'm interested because I've been watching some of your stuff on
Yeah.
Instagram, and I'm just interested
Yep.
at what you've been doing, where you've been. Um, the one place it amazed me. It surprised my kids. So you with walking down by the Super Mario on that down that escalator, that blew their mind on that. And then uh, you went to an anime studio. Is that correct? Or was outside of one?
No. So that was actually in the airport. So when I first arrived, going down the escalator, they have like all like Super Mario and all these anime characters like kind of painted on the wall, and they greet you, welcome to Japan and all that stuff. The other day I went to Akibara, Akihabara, something like that. Um, and it's a place where it's all like electronics and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of different shops, stores, arcades, and comic book stores, like anime characters and stuff like that. So like if you're into that kind of stuff, which I'm not, I just kind of walked around there. It was actually pretty cool to see. I'm staying right now in Shibuya, which is like famous for their Shibuya crossing. Like I don't know if you ever seen the Fast and Furious movies before, but
Yeah.
the Tokyo Drift one, there's a scene there where there's like a bunch of people crossing back and forth, and it's actually the world's busiest pedestrian intersection. At any
Wow.
given time, there's over 3,000 people crossing at once.
Nice. That is amazing. I know you went to the shrine too. I think that shrine is actually I think that's actually videotaped. They have one part of that shrine in the Wolverine movie, one of the Wolverine movies. Um, I think because it looked very familiar. So
Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know which exact shrine it was in that movie, but there's like every corner you turn here, there's a shrine.
wow.
Some are bigger, some are smaller, but yeah, shrines and temples and different places like that. It's really cool. It's really cool here. It just the culture shock is insane, man. Like you could be at a crosswalk and it could be 15 feet or 10 or 15 feet of road to the other side of the side to the other sidewalk. People stop and wait for the light, pedestrian green light to go. Like no one crosses the street without, no one jaywalks. Everyone waits patiently, whether it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and they're walking on the sidewalk. They wait for their green light to go so that they cross the street. It's really cool.
Wow. So how have you been getting around? Have you tried the subway? Like, well, tell me, like, is there like, have you been on like one of those bike things? How do you get around to different places? I know you've been traveling different cities and all that stuff. So how do you do that? Have you been on a bullet train?
Yeah. So the way to travel around here or to navigate around here, you have to like you have no choice but to do these subways, and it's hard at first. It's very intimidating at first to figure it out, but after a day or two, you kind of get the hang of it. Um, sometimes it's good to get lost because that's how you kind of learn how to figure it out. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was in Kyoto, which is 2 hours away on a bullet train, which if you were to drive in a car, it's about 6 hour drive.
Wow.
So those bullet trains go up to like 250 miles per hour, which is insane.
Jeez.
Um, anyway, so I go to this southern part of Japan called Kyoto, and I'm on a city bus. The bus was packed. Like if you ever seen like how they push people inside the subways, it was
Right.
just like that. And it's weird because you get on first and then you pay when you get off. So
Wow.
you get on from the middle of the bus, and then when you get off, you walk to the driver and you give your card and you pay that way. So I got on the wrong bus, and it was like I'm talking like sardine cans, shoulder to shoulder. I couldn't like whatever. So the back door opens up, and I couldn't get to the front to pay. So I
Right.
just dipped. I jumped out. So I didn't pay for my fare. And this random dude just started yelling at me because
Right.
he's like, because I there was no way I could get to the front of the bus to pay. Like
Right.
I don't know how, but anyway, so I ended up just kept on going because I had no other choice, and I ended up finding the right bus. But just
Wow.
another funny, memorable experience that I had when I was there.
So, okay, what have you been eating? I mean, I know they're prized on their sushi and all that kind of stuff, but what kind of food have you been eating? I know you don't like fish, so what kind of food have you been finding there?
Um, I mean, there's the same food that there is in the States over here when it comes to like the fast food restaurants. Starbucks is one in every corner. 7-Elevens is one every 500 feet of each other. Um, but I've tried a few things. I've tried like some of their chicken dishes, some ramen, which is like pork-based ramen. I don't eat any fish, like you said, which is tough because everything here is kind of fish-based. But you have your McDonald's, you have your Burger Kings, you have your Wendy's, you have all that stuff. That if you wanted to go to those places, it's available. Not that I have, but a lot of 7-Eleven stops because the 7-Elevens over here are actually really good, really good stuff.
Nice, nice.
And they're open
So
24 hours too. So
that's probably good for you because I mean, with the time difference, you're probably probably couple days you were probably up more later at night than you were anything, right? So you have
yeah, it's been yeah, the jet lag was crazy, yeah.
so you got still some adjusted, and then when you get back, you got a lot adjusted probably.
Yeah. Here's something. So tomorrow, which
Mhm.
it's like I said, it's gonna be 11 o'clock here now, at night. But tomorrow, this is actually pretty interesting. I'm going to a place called Yokozuka,
Okay.
and I'm going there because Melanie from Echo arranged for me to go on a tour to the Yamabiko factory. For those that are listening to the show that doesn't know what Yamabiko is Echo's parent company. So Yamabiko owns Echo and Shinadawa and um, other smaller companies and whatnot. So they're the parent company of Echo, and I'm going to be going tomorrow, taking a tour of their facilities and capturing some footage to hopefully be able to put on for Echo Means Business.
Nice, nice. I mean, that would probably be a highlight so far of your trip. What has been a highlight of your trip? What have you enjoyed the most so far?
Oh man, it's crazy. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face because uh I just know that every day has been a different adventure, and so I don't really think I have a highlight of something most memorable, but I'm sure that once I get out of the the amazement when I get back home and start to reflect back on as to what I've gone through, I'll start to be able to pick apart a few things that I really enjoyed.
Nice, nice. So
Yeah.
it's been a very interesting trip, correct? Every little aspect that you've done. And could you say that everybody should try this at least once just to try to travel somewhere that they've never traveled before and just enjoy it?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be something that's like super far away. Um, just something that you've wanted to do that you've never done before, or that you've never, or you put off and said, I'll do it someday, and never have done it. Like whether that's California, Florida, or somewhere international, whatever it is. I think the lesson of it is to sometimes we are afraid of learning or venturing around and not knowing stuff. Sometimes you just got to dive in the deep end and go in and try it. And that's just like advice for anything in life, I guess. It's not necessarily about traveling, but just like something that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done, just go ahead and do it. Don't even think twice about it. Just do it. Close your eyes and go. you know.
Amazing, amazing. So I've seen you went to a couple baseball games. Tell me, how is it different than our baseball? Is it the same? How's the experience? I mean,
Man,
I'm kind of excited about that.
that was really cool. You just talked about a memorable experience. That was definitely one of them. Um, they just do it so much better over here. They make baseball fun. Like I've always been a fan of baseball. It could be hard to watch a game live or on TV, but they they do it right. Everybody's into it. There's chants going on. The bleachers are just insane. You think like a bleachers, the cheapest seat at a ball field in the United States is where all the crazy drunken people go, but like over here they have like coordinated chants, like cheerleaders. They have flags going back and forth. Everybody in the crowd is chanting the exact same thing. The game goes by a lot faster too, which is good. I think they don't have a pitcher's clock. I know we were talking a couple weeks ago about the new rules in baseball. They don't have that, but for some reason they don't need it because they're quick right back up again to throw the pitch.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen you there. What was the teams that you watched? Do you remember?
Yomiuri Giants.
Okay.
Yomiuri Giants. That's like the excuse me, the Tokyo Giants.
Okay.
They're the equivalent of the New York Yankees in the United States. Um, they were playing against the Tigers, and don't ask me where they were from, but
My
it's cool
father went.
because the Giants here, the Tokyo Giants, they got their inspiration from the New York. I'm sorry, the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
So they have the same colors. They have the same um, black and orange colors, white and orange colors that
Nice.
the San Francisco Giants have.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what's the weather there? I mean, that's kind of one of the things I know. Right now, we're kind of in the spring where we're at in the United States. So, what kind of weather are you guys experiencing over there right now?
Right now, it's like mid 60s, low 70s.
Okay, so
It was thunderstorms today, so it's very similar weather than what it is back home. Even what I left in Boston.
nice, nice.
What's been
So
going on with you, man?
not much. We are just in the midst of everything, and it's it seems like it's Mulch Madness now in our area, and I know probably by the time you get back, you'll be back into it, and it's stuff kind of started taking off growth wise. So we have been transitioning to mowing and mulching, and I just this time of year, as soon as you start to get warm, people start calling and out of everywhere and wanting all kinds of work. So that's just kind of how it's been
Yeah,
here. And it you deal with it day by day, and it's kind of some days it's kind of hectic and you're like running all over the place, and some days you're just like, okay, well, that's a normal day. So that's how I've been dealing. It's been warm as heck, which is nice, and you know, it's gonna be it's gonna suck tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to drop down into the 30s. And last week it was all 80s, so it was
Wow.
like it's kind of a big drop, but it's supposed to start picking back up into the 60s where it should be. So it'll be a nice back to normal pace after that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have quite a bit of work ahead of me when I get
Oh yeah.
back. Um,
I
not
I
not too
bet.
much, but
You got mowing should probably start for you guys too. Don't you said before you're pretty much late April, May, pretty much when you guys start.
yeah, we're more even. I would gear to say more towards May because April for us, like the ground's still sometimes very saturated. But definitely like the spring cleanups are into play, and then when I get back, so I got a few of those that I got to do. But like I said before, my customers, one of them is my neighbor. Um, they're pretty, they're pretty okay with the fact that I was gone. You know, for some, they don't mind holding off things, especially if they don't have to, you know,
Right.
pay it
Yeah,
right then and there. So, but
I think if
my
you
work's
let
definitely there for me when I get back.
yeah. I think if you let customers know ahead of time that you're going on vacation and you might be shut down or something, even at any kind of company, they kind of understand and they know that everybody has to take a break eventually. So I mean, if you know they enjoy, like you said, not having to spend that money sometimes, and that's something they always look forward to because they know you're going to be dependable, and if you're dependable, you'll be back and
Yeah.
if it's in the middle of a mowing season, you're going to make sure that it's cut before you leave, and then as soon as you get back, you're going to get them cut as soon as you can, so they know
Mm.
that, and they trust in you to do that. And I think that's, you have the great customers, I have great customers like that. And if you don't have great customers, you've got to find those customers that actually are there for you like that, and they know what's going on. So that's,
Yeah.
communication is always
Yeah,
key
they're
with
very
us.
understanding,
Yeah.
but they're very understanding, but also when they definitely want something, they're not afraid to tell you or ask you
Right.
even to
Right.
do
I
it,
mean,
which
if you
is
mess
which is
up, they're
good.
going to tell
It's
you. I mean,
exactly what you.
that's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah, I got some work for me when I get back, which is good because I want to get back into the. I've been waiting for a long time to get back in the groove of things, and I think we all have been, and looking forward to the rest of the season, to the beginning of the season.
oh yeah, it's gonna be a great, interesting season this year. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. Um, there's been a lot of stuff posting for the expo lately, which is, I think that's going to be bigger and better this year because I know they were talking about taking over another part of the expo area. So I mean, that's going to be interesting how that goes. So that's going to be something bigger, different this year. So yeah.
I'm still undecided whether or not it's something I'm able to do. So uh, I'll give it an effort, but I'm not 100% sure that I'll be able to make it this year.
I understand.
I
I
want
think
to.
for Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the fence too. Especially with the other event coming up in September. Kind of on the fence about if I do go to the expo, I know I won't be there the whole time this year like I was last year. So probably gonna be a quick, one day, maybe day and a half, and on to some other stuff. Like to take the
Mm.
family and go do some other things. So I think that might be the perfect time to kind of do that because that's kind of my wind down between mowing and fall cleanups. So it's kind of, you know, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, yeah. So I know I'm gonna ask you all kinds of weird questions here, and you're
No,
probably
it's cool.
tired as heck. But so what is? I mean, you're a part time mower, and you do that stuff on the weekends, correct? Or like you said, you have a couple days a week that you particularly do. So like, do you do, like, if you have a whole day off, do you spend that whole day doing it, or do you kind of like stick to a certain time frame and saying, okay, 8 to 5 is all I'm mowing?
No, I usually dedicate the weekends completely,
Okay.
and you know, sometimes I have some time during the week that if I do want some time off on the weekends, I could jump in on a Thursday evening or a Friday evening and start chipping away at some of the work that I needed to get done on the weekend on those days. So like I could go in, let's say if I had a property I'm doing on Saturday and I happen to have Friday evening available, I could go and take care of that property on Friday evening. That way, the rest of the lawns that I do on the weekend, I get done a little early and have more time to do things for myself. So it's pretty cool because I have that flexibility. And so it's usually like Thursday evenings, Friday evenings, Saturday and Sundays. But for the most part, I'm busy during the whole weekend.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So well, I'm trying to think here. You mostly mow, right? And do you do anything extra, Jensen, besides mowing? I mean, do you, if a customer, let's say, I don't know how many customers you have, probably, how many customers do you have? I mean, what, probably 15, 20, 30? You probably got like 70 customers,
No,
probably.
this is it's never been a secret. This has always been more of like a part-time side hustle for me,
Right,
and because I get a full-time job, but I don't have a lot of customers. I really don't. I have 8 right now, and I'm trying to get just a few more as I go along, just through word of mouth.
right.
So it's not too heavy lifting. Um, but uh, but yeah, they're big properties, which is good.
Right. I mean, I think
You know,
it
where I live, it's not like postage stamp type of yard. It's kind of at least an acre or a little just under an acre for each property. Some of them, one of them is an acre and a half, which is kind of pretty big. Um, so I mean, I'm out there for a little while, but it's yeah, it keeps me busy.
that's, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I think, you're handling what you want, and that's, and, advertising word of mouth, I think is the best way to do it. Because your customers are going to tell other people how you perform the work, and how great you do a job. And, you know, it's more of you're getting the better, you know, advertisement, I want to say, than just trying to keep advertising yourself. And that's, word of mouth can go a long way to a customer compared to, trying to just promote and promote and promote and promote. So, that's awesome. And, I've, for you, that's awesome that, you can handle that. And that's, big yards, definitely, by yourself. I don't think, a lot of people realize that they go in as themselves and kind of think, this is my side hustle, or, I'm going to do this. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to try to get as many jobs as I can. And then they're working every day after their actual work job. And then then it's like, okay, I got 30 jobs and I'm doing, 2, 3 jobs a day. And it's, on the weekend, I'm trying to get it all done and it's taking me 18 hours. And, having you
Yeah,
can burn yourself out faster that way. And I think you taking and saying, okay, this is how many I want. This is my total number that I'm going to stick with is awesome. And it gets you to where you're not burning yourself out and you're not stressing yourself out if I'm going to get this job done, if it's going to rain or not. And I think that's amazing what you do, JC. So,
it keeps you more productive too because if you're tackling 15 smaller lawns, you're loading and unloading. You're losing a lot of time doing that, loading, unloading, going back to this property, this property. Whereas if you're staying on a bigger property for a lot longer and you're making, the money there, you're just kind of saving time on loading and unloading. So it's like I'd rather have a fewer larger properties than a lot of little properties.
correct. I mean, also too, you're probably close by every one of your accounts. So it's like you're not going as
Yeah.
far as, and a lot of people don't realize that especially when they first start out, they're trying to get anybody that they can. So it's like, one of their customers might say, well, you can do my cousin. He needs somebody, but it's 20 miles away. So you're driving 20 miles
Hmm.
away to get that customer. And then eventually you're like, why am I driving 20 minutes away? It's taking my time up, and, and you got to figure it's 20 there, 20 minutes back, plus unloading and all the time cutting, and you don't have that time. So I feel like
Yeah.
being close is a lot easier for people, um, just in general. I see a lot of companies that are are having trouble with employees and trouble getting to them longer spots and the time that they waste. And it's like, it's just easier that way if you have smaller jobs or if you have bigger jobs and they're all close together, you know.
Yeah, it's keeping that route density.
Yeah.
When I first started, I think we talked about it before, but I was I started, just doing volunteering stuff for my mom because my mom had a lot of elderly clients that she would tell me to mow their lawns. So that's how it all started with like word of mouth, because then the next door neighbor wanted me to do theirs. And then so I was actually, when I first started off, I had no idea what route density was. I was just saying yes to every single person that wanted me to mow their lawn. So I ended up doing 2 or 3 different towns that I was kind of going back and forth on. And it was just eating up a lot of my time. And again, me only doing it on the weekends and maybe Thursday, Fridays. Um, I didn't have any time to rest. I was just like nonstop. And now it's a lot better because, like I said, my neighbor is one of my clients, like literally right across the street from me. And that's one of the bigger properties that I service too. So that's even better because it's kind of just like right there. But then I was able to get more customers, my customers that I have now, in my same town. So it just makes the traveling time, obviously it's not what it was when I first started, but now I save more time just because I have that route density and it's closer, and I chip away at them.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think I was the same way at the beginning. I took everybody and I still I'm always always like, well, is this going to make me the money? And now I'm getting more closer and closer um route density that where literally we have one day that I think our farthest distance, granted we're 10 minutes away from the most of the town that we service, but it's like our farthest distance now is like 25 minutes. And it's like that's the farthest we go and we work our way back every day. And before last year, I think last year we had like our farthest point was an hour away. So now it's like to be closer in the long run, it
Wow.
saves time, it saves money, saves gas, you know, and you have to look at that, you know. I mean, yes, I've done jobs in the past to where I'm driving uh, well, kind of from where I'm at. If anybody knows where I'm at, I'm in kind of Toledo, but I drive out to Cedar Point. I used to drive out to Cedar Point for one big job, and it was a whole day job. It took 3 hours to drive out there, and you're hauling mulch out there, you're hauling materials out there and equipment, and then it's like, yeah, you're spending a whole day there, and it's a great day, but it's like you have to look at it is are you making money on it in the long run? And if you're not making the money on it, you know, you have to just cut it at that point. You have to be like, I'm done, I can't do it no more. And this
Mm.
customer knew that, you know, we mowed his house in this area, and it was like this was this, you know, summer home, so it was like he knew that it cost triple of what, you know, we did his house for, but he didn't care because he knew and trusted the way we did our services. So it was like, okay, go ahead and go do all the landscape in the beginning of the year, do it at the end of the year, you know, I'll take care of it during the summer, but I need you to do these main things. And, you know, he didn't mind paying, and it was nice. And it was just, but it came to a time to where it was like, okay, it's time to drop it. So, and you gotta be able to say no to a customer and say, I'm done.
Well,
So,
that's the hard part, especially when a customer, you know, it's never easy for anybody to say no. It's something you got to learn to do in this business. But especially when you have a customer that's loyal to you as well, like to say no to them, like it's different if it's just like. But anyways, again, I'm kind of blabbing, but because I'm tired. but but no, like Josh always says, and Josh is the one that kind of put it into perspective for me to kind of figure out, is to learn how to say no. That's very, very important. And and keep your mind on the business. Don't put too much emotion into it, whereas like you're gonna feel guilty. No, you need to do this for yourself, and in a sense, and be smart about your business. You know.
right. Oh yeah, I feel like you got to say no sometimes. And you know, you look at the job, you look at how much you can make on a job, and sometimes people say, you know, I could use that money, or I can use that for, a mower or something. But you got to be able to say no if it's going to take it longer than what you expect. And I think knowing your numbers,
Yeah.
if you're doing a landscaping job or something, you got to look at it. I've just heard something interesting the other day from a company I follow down in North Carolina, and they're a septic company. And so they said you have your regular customer price, and then there's the FU customer price. If you really don't want to do the job, you give them this outrageous number, and you just hope that they don't do it. And if they do it, then you just have to take the job and say, okay, well, now I can, I have the extra money for something else. But I thought that was funny to hear that he has, the regular customer price and the FU customer price. And I think there's always that time when I'm always busy and there might be a job close by and the customer might say, oh, well, or a new client might say, hey, can you give me a price on this? And I feel like sometimes I'm so packed and I'm like, okay, I'll do it for this price. And it'll be higher than what I really would normally do it for. And they'll go and be like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And it's like, and you're back of your mind, you're like, why did I do that? Right?
Damn
Why
it.
didn't I just say no? Now I have to figure out how to add this into the schedule. But in the long run, it's
Yeah.
like you're like, okay, well, you know, did I, am I lower on my prices, and maybe I should have raised my prices even higher this year. So kind of makes you think in the long run, like where can your prices be at that where you're, perfect at, but you have to be at the right position that, you have to know the numbers and say, okay, this is what it's going to take, and if you make an extra, a couple hundred off a job, then that's amazing. You got great profit on it. So that's amazing. So So what else is going on, JC? I know we only got a couple more minutes here. I don't want to keep you too much because I know you probably tired, being almost 11 o'clock now.
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah, no, not too much. Like it's crazy because I don't have an Apple Watch, but I obviously carry my phone with me, and it pops into a notification popped up and said that like this is like I'm paraphrasing, literally like the most I've ever walked in my life.
nice.
Like I I times 10 my normal steps daily or whatever. So it was like I think I don't know, like 10,000 steps the other day, 15,000 steps the other day. And just like walking around. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm losing weight. I don't know because I'm eating a lot. I'm eating a lot, but maybe I need to burn it off too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's awesome, man. I know I'm kind of blabbing. When I get tired, I start stuttering and start kind of making no sense of my words, but so you're gonna have to forgive me for that. But yeah, no, just things are awesome. Looking forward to coming back and getting back into work. Um,
How many more
and
days you got
looking
out there?
forward to um it'll be Wednesday for you, but I'll
Okay.
be leaving here Thursday.
Okay.
So technically Wednesday, I guess, but yeah, I'll be yeah, so Thursday I'm flying back to Boston, and then Friday I'm off, and then Saturday and Sunday uh can do whatever I need to do. Get back
Normal,
in the swing of
normal work.
things.
Get
Yeah.
going into it. That's
Yeah,
that's amazing.
with probably some jet lag, but it's a 14-hour flight, so it's quite a long time.
Oh yeah, that's a long time. I mean, do you have like a cabin in your flight, or you just normal seats?
Ah, that's the worst thing, man. I took the window seat because like I like to rest my head, and I sleep on the left, so I on my left hand side, so I picked the window to the left. I got zero sleep on that flight here, man. It's just so uncomfortable. The seats are so upright. Um, I realized it was a mistake to get the window seat on a long flight because when you have to go to use the bathroom and
Oh,
you're at the window
yeah,
seat, you got to bother the next two people next to you like all the time. So like as opposed next time I'll get an aisle seat because you get up and get down, sit down
right.
whenever you want. So sometimes you feel like bad having to ask the people to stand up just because you need to use the bathroom for something or whatever. You want to
Right.
stretch out,
Jeez.
but yeah,
That's a long flight, dude. That is
not
a
looking forward to that. Yeah,
I bet not. That's a long flight. I mean, 14 hours is a long time to be in the air.
it's a long time.
I've never flown that long, but I'll tell you what. I mean, doing the flights I've done, it's just like you said, it's if you're in that window seat, you're kind of like, oh great. Like after so long,
Can't
you're like,
sleep.
what?
Can't.
Yeah, yeah,
Some people can. I can't. I can't at all. I don't know why. I tried desperately, but I couldn't.
right. Because you're excited. I mean, you're excited about going there, and then I think it's the same thing. Last time me and my wife flew to Vegas, it was kind of like I was so excited to get there and just being somewhere different. And it wasn't you're not wanting to go to sleep, but it's like the way back, you're like, I'm exhausted. It was fun, you know. And then it's like you're like, I want to go to sleep, but I really got to get back home. So now I'm like, you're still awake, and we flew back on a red eye, and it was kind of like, okay, I'm tired. I got to get home, but I got to get there. It's like I don't want to fall asleep because then if I fall asleep, what's going to happen if I fall asleep and I'm still on this plane when they get ready to take off again? So it's like you're not wanting to
Mm.
fall asleep. So, but yeah,
It could be worse. Like you could be sitting next to like a really sloppy, smelly person with bad breath or whatever. But I just jinxed myself. That's going to happen on the flight back.
hopefully not. Hopefully not, Jesse.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully not.
So,
So,
but yeah,
but
I'm excited about tomorrow. Yamabiko.
yeah, I
Gonna
can't wait to see
check
that the
out.
video and stuff. That'd be awesome.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely take whatever footage that I can, and hopefully that you guys that are listening will be able to see it on Echo Means Business.
Nice.
And
Nice.
yeah, so looking forward to that. A few hours, I'll be there.
That's
It's
good.
only an hour. Actually, yeah, it's a little about an hour subway ride from where I'm at,
That's not bad actually
and
then.
it's actually not that bad. No, it's not. It's not that
Mhm.
bad at all.
No. No.
Yeah, pretty easy to navigate.
Cool. Well, guys, that's all we
But
have for this week. I want to thank JC for being on. I know he's tired. It is a different timeline where he's at, but he will be back next week with hopefully we'll get Josh back on. I don't know if he's going to be done with what he's doing. I mean, he likes to travel and just not tell us till the last second, but we love him for that. And we like that you're
mystery
on,
man,
JC. So thank you for being
yeah,
on, especially being over in Japan, dude. That's just amazing on what you've done and just to see everything you've done is just it's amazing, dude. I myself would love to go to Japan one day and enjoy it, and it's to you it's amazing to see that, dude. So thank you
yeah,
for being on,
it's
JC.
been a lifelong dream
Oh, I
for sure.
bet, dude. I
Absolutely, man.
bet. I bet. So thanks, guys. Keep watching us on YouTube. Watch us, listen to us on Spotify, on iHeart, and Google Podcasts. Thanks, guys. Have a great day and keep liking us and subscribing, guys. Comment,
Later,
put
guys.
anything down. Later, guys.
Later.